Yo boys, my name is Sugar. I'm 14. I'm from the UK. I've been doing organic for just over a year now. From Facebook organic dropshipping, I've made roughly 60k in the last 2 months alone. And today I'll just be talking about my journey, how I got here, what it took. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright, so I started in around August 2024. I was playing a lot of video games at this time. I don't know, maybe some of you guys relate before you start dropshipping. But I was like, okay, maybe I could spend some of this time maybe to make some money or just do something with my life instead of just messing around playing games. So I searched up how do you get rich. I found dropshipping. Maybe some of you guys relate to this. And I found Mikey again and Michael Bernstein, who I'm sure most of you guys are aware of because they're pretty big in the space. So I watched some of their videos and I was pretty interested in organic, and I just started testing like random products. Like for example, I tested like this scratch art thing. Like it took like hours per day to record for. Like it was a shit product. Then I also tested in October like this pumpkin lamp product, and I got my first sale with that, and I got like pretty high views to be fair. I got like 600k, 800k, but still I had a very low conversion rate. So yeah, obviously after testing the pumpkin lamp product, I was pretty demotivated because I had such a low conversion rate per million views. So I got very lazy. Like November, December, even the rest of October, I just didn't do shit. Like I was just messing around, playing games. I don't know, just living my life, right? But I remember it was like around a week, maybe a couple days before December, and I met Hassan, right? And I was speaking to Hassan, and Hassan was like, "Bro, you just been lazy, like, bro, what are you doing?" And I kind of realized like he's right, like I've just spent months just wasting time, like doing fuck all, and like I had made basically zero progress. So I was like, look, he's right. I'm gonna lock in January 1st, new year, new me. I'm gonna get that back. So yeah, January 1st, I joined a course. I think it was GPC Premium, and it was alright, I guess, but I didn't learn much outside of basic like filming and content creation for beginners. And so in January, I tested like this brick bouquet product, and I blew it up. But unfortunately, I just had rubbish targeting, and I didn't convert. Yeah, and I didn't convert. And of course, like if you have bad targeting, you can just make a new account. But unfortunately, Valentine's Day was too close, so I basically had to drop the product. So as some of you guys might remember, last year, January, February, maybe even March, a lot of people were testing canvases. So I tested a Juice WRLD canvas, I believe in around February, and it was very easy to blow up. Like I think I got like 5 million views. My YouTube blew up to like 20k subscribers. It was pretty cool, but unfortunately, again, zero sales. So obviously, I'd been going from October 2024, and now it's February 2025, and still I haven't had a second sale, which is pretty trash and terrible. Yeah, and it's just terrible, right? But I was like, you know what? You just have to keep going because that's how organic is. You just keep going, you don't stop, and eventually it's just gonna work. Like realistically. So March was very similar to January and February. I was still getting views, I was testing new products. I think I tested some car rugs, but unfortunately those didn't convert either. So April was a bit more positive. Like I had two sales, so my second and third sale, but still it was just very slow. I didn't have like a proper big breakthrough. But like I said before, like you just gotta keep pushing. In organic everything is mental. None of it is real. You just have to keep going because eventually, if you just keep testing products, keep posting videos, new concepts, everything, eventually something will work realistically if you think about it from a probability perspective. So by now, it was around May. May again, I literally had zero sales. I was still testing products. I was locked in, posting multiple times a day, but unfortunately, just nothing was working. And in June, again, nothing. I remember like I blew up a product. I think it was like that little robot camera which you can drive around your house. Unfortunately, like I had bad targeting on that across multiple accounts and I just didn't convert. So in July, I had a pretty small breakthrough, but for me it was pretty big. 'Cause obviously, October 2024 until like June 2025, I'd had 3 sales in total. So in July, I made like $250 or maybe $350 roughly. And although like it's not a lot in organic, it was still pretty significant for me because obviously it gave me a bit of hope, even though the amount of money itself wasn't that much. So in July, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go all in on this product, and in August, I'm gonna try and run it up and see how much I can make. But what happened was some guy on YouTube exposed my account because I was doing like emotional concepts at that time. And obviously I was like, man, I don't want to get like cooked or like get into legal trouble, which obviously doesn't actually happen, but I just didn't know what to do. So I just dropped the product, shut down my accounts, and I was basically just back to square one. So then August rolls around, and obviously like I basically haven't made shit. But I was like, okay, maybe I can just find something good. So I was scrolling on my burner and I found like those crochet coasters. I'm 100% sure, like, if you've been on your burner, you should have seen it. Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing. But I tested that and it was kind of new at the time with like certain stitch clips. So I think I made like $600, maybe $700. And I had my first $200 day. I got a couple million views and it was pretty cool. But unfortunately, the conversion rate was very, very low. And when I'm talking low, I'm talking like roughly $200 per million views, which is garbage. So as soon as like I stopped getting views, I dropped the product. And again, like I just needed a big winner so that I could get my first 5 figures at least. So September rolls around. September was a pretty slow month. I think I made $200. And by now, I was starting to get a bit like worried and anxious because obviously I've been going at this for like August 2024 to September 2025. That's over a year. Bear in mind, I don't think I'd even touched like $1,000 by that point. Which, if you've been going for a year and a month, that is terrible. Like you should have hit like 5 figures. So obviously, I was like, damn. I've been going for all this time and I still haven't made shit. So I was like, cool. October rolls around and I'm testing multiple products. I'm going all in and everything. And mid-October, I needed to go on holiday. So obviously, I go on holiday and I'm just posting like usual. And then probably one of the worst things that's ever happened to me in my career happened. Every single Instagram account that I had, every single one got banned, including my personal account. So it was like 3, 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep. Like my brother was like, why are you staying awake? But obviously every single Instagram account I had got banned. So again, I was back to stage one. I was like, damn, I just spent all this time and now I just got like completely wiped out within the space of 30 minutes because I tried to post while on holiday in a different country. So at this point, I was like, man, I have to give one last push for Q4 2025. So I was like, okay, I took a short break from organic while I was on holiday. I was just chilling, messing around. But I knew that as soon as I get back, I have to lock in, go all in, and just try and make as much money as I could. So obviously I get back from holiday, and I remember I think it was like the start of November. And obviously I'd known Hassan for a while at this point, but I was never really like a proper student of his or anything. And I'd made a little bit of money with the advice that he'd given me so far. So I was like, you know what? As soon as he'd launched his mentorship, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take every single penny that I have, including savings, like not just drop shipping money, savings, everything I had, and I just pulled it straight into the mentorship. So of course, it was a very risky move on my end, but I was like, you know what? I've only got so much time left this Q4. I might as well just give the money and take the risk. So I remember, I think it was November 1st, which I joined, or it might have been November 2nd. And I submitted a product to Hassan. I only submitted one product at this time. And I remember it was the first product that I had seen on my burner as soon as I got back from holiday. And Hassan said it was a valid banger, and so I started testing it. The first 1 week or so was kind of slow, I didn't really make much. I think maybe I had one, maybe two sales, but I was pretty happy, of course, because this was a decently new product at that time. So I was like, okay, let's just see where this can go, right? So the week after, I had my first 1K day. I had back-to-back $500 days. And obviously for me, I hadn't even touched $1,000 in my journey. So this was just insane. It was overwhelming. I wouldn't say it was overwhelming. I was just very excited, very happy, because obviously I'd been going for such a long time, and finally it worked out. So I was like, okay, I have to go all in. I started posting on multiple accounts. I hired creators, and I think I was posting 10, 12 times a day. And I just went all in. So the week after that, I had a 10K week. And then the week after that, I had a 20K week where I was just hitting 2K days, 2.5K days, 3K days. And obviously this was insane, because one thing you got to realize was that this was my first ever time on Facebook. This was on my soul. I can put my hand on my heart and say this was my first ever product on Facebook. And I'd just gone and made 30, 35K at this point. And I was super excited, super motivated to just keep working. And I was like, yeah, I can do 60, 80, maybe even 100K a month with this product. But of course, you can't have good things without bad things. There is no light without dark. And my Facebook had been suspended. Literally, I had my biggest day, 3.5K. And then I think I might have had a 2.5K day. I had a 2.5K day, and then my Facebook got suspended because I'd been stealing videos. So obviously I was like, damn, I think I maybe stole 15, 20 videos. Not even that, maybe 5, 10 videos max out of 200 posts, because I'd just been so locked in. And it was kind of sad, but I still made my money. And I was floating at around $200 a day for the rest of December, because in the first 4 or 5 days of December I think I made 10, 15K. So the rest of December was pretty slow, nothing crazy. I had random $900 days, because sometimes I'd have big orders $500, $600. And then January 1st rolls around, 2026. January 1st rolls around, 2026. And literally, January 1st, my account had been unsuspended. Facebook had just appealed my review, and of course, I was very happy. And I started doing $700, $800 days consistently, $600 1K days, 1.5K days, 1.8K days, 2.2K days. So, of course, January has been great. I think I've made approximately 20K so far at the time of recording. I'll do quickly is just go through some mistakes that I feel beginners these days are doing. So I feel one big one is discipline, because you could have the best product research skills, you could have the best site making skills, you could have the best product research abilities, I guess, but if you aren't prepared to put in the work, if you aren't prepared to post consistently every day, if you aren't prepared to go on your burner every day, and then you don't see results coming in, why are you shocked? Genuinely, if you're not trying every day and you expect yourself to win, then clearly you're just an idiot. Because you need to be locked in, you need to be working every day. One important thing I feel like Hassan told me was organic isn't easy, but it is simple. And I feel like that's very important because it isn't easy. You have to post every day, you have to go months without making sales, but understanding it is very simple, you know? And yeah, another thing which I feel like beginners aren't really doing that well these days is sometimes you gotta listen, you know? Like if you see someone who's making more than you, they have better product research skills than you, they have better site making skills than you, then sometimes you just gotta shut up and listen. Because like even throughout my journey, when people who had made more than me in organic or who are more skilled than me in organic, if they were trying to give me advice, I'd just shut up and listen. And that's what you gotta do. You can't be arrogant, you gotta put your ego to the side and you just gotta be like, okay, teach me. And especially having like the right guidance is also very important for organic dropshipping, of course. So of course I started this at 13 years old, which compared to most of you guys watching, I'm way younger than a lot of you. So if I could go to school, do classes after school, while staying locked in, posting multiple times a day, doing product research, etc., you know, then a lot of you guys can very easily do it. Because I know that most of you guys watching this are going to be older than me. And it works, the business works. But if you quit after one product, after sometimes I see people post like two videos on a product and think like that's enough. Like no, you gotta post multiple times a day. You gotta be consistent. You gotta be locked in. You can't quit. You can't be lazy. Cause like if you are lazy, you'll realize after 6-8 months, maybe even a year, like look, I've wasted all this time. Where if you were locked in, you would have made money, you would have made bread, and your life would be completely different, quite literally. So yeah, I started this at a very young age, and of course, like with the right guidance, like I had Hassan, Tiago, FBD, it helped a lot, of course. And I just worked hard and I got here. Simply, like this wasn't luck, you know. I went such a long period of time with literally no success, and eventually I made it. I did it. So this is just proof that it can work for all of you guys out there. Alright, thank you everybody for watching this video. I'm going to be wrapping it up here. That was just a short summary of my entire journey back to front. So I'll be linking my Instagram account down below. I'll also be linking the FBD Discord down below. There's a free community in there which can help you guys, and there are free weekly calls which of course have a lot of sauce in them. Big shout out to my boys Hassan and Tiago, of course. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.